Swallowed Star. Within the palace, blood god Baki laughed as he walked down from the throne. Luo Feng remained knelt there. Baki looked at Luo Feng kneeling on one knee, more satisfied as he looked. Blood River World was different from the universe. The universe had the virtual universe company and other huge powers nurturing their geniuses, allowing them to compete. However, it was mostly a protective kind of nurture. Blood River World was different. There were over 10 million world cities on the continent. Countless sector lords fought against each other. Even if one was a genius, no matter how powerful, you'll still have to experience slaughter to slowly reach the top. Hence Baki would accept elites to build his own blood god guards. This was him preparing his genius army. Right now he was in training. However, the moment he revealed himself, his power and status would have to be earned through slaughter. Blood River Continent worshipped strength. Worshipped slaughter. 97. At cloud level 9 you are able to defeat a domain level 1 blood demon. Baki stood there, looking down at Luo Feng. Right now you've even absorbed 3 blood river crystals. Your improvement speed would be even faster. Your level of talent is considered top level even amongst the geniuses absorbed by the Undying Shrine. Under me, your benefits will definitely be no less than those geniuses nurtured by the Undying Shrine. Baki said confidently, if you are loyal to me, I will treat you well. Thank you Lord, I will do my best to support you and work for you. Luo Feng knelt there, clean and respectful. When Baki heard those words, his smile grew wider. Ha ha ha, Baki began to laugh even louder. The laughter resounded continuously around the palace. Even the blood god guards in their training rooms on the 3rd level all looked up, wondering why their lord was so happy. Baki was all smiles, personally lifting Luo Feng till he stood there. Work hard. Baki smiled at Luo Feng. First break through to domain level. As for the Blood River medal, I haven't taken over a world city. The medals that I initially brought with me have all been given out. Ah! Luo Feng was stunned. Given out? Meaning, Baki didn't have any Blood River medals. Haha, 97, you little punk, the moment you heard there weren't any medals, your expression changed. Baki smiled, I understand your thoughts. I grew up listening to the legends of the Blood and Black Warrior too, working hard to become a Blood Warrior and Black Warrior, to get the Blood River medal. That medal, to those who receive it, is simply just a medal and has no other meaning. To those that don't receive it, it's however a target that they chase for thousands to tens of thousands of years. I may not have any right now, but I'll inform the Undying Shrine to give me a few more. Baki smiled at Luo Feng. I estimate in about 10 days, if they are faster, within 6 to 7 days, they will send envoys to deliver the medals to me. Then, I'll hand one to you. Thank you Lord. Luo Feng's expression was filled with gratitude as he bowed. Go on. Break through to the domain level. Baki smiled. Ah, right, these are 2 Blood River crystals. When you've absorbed them, look for me again. Following which, he flipped his hand and took out 2 more crystals. They floated out of his palm and straight to Luo Feng. Luo Feng respectfully received them, thank you Lord. Baki smiled as he looked at Luo Feng leave respectfully, following which he couldn't help but laugh loudly again, causing the entire palace to tremble. As Luo Feng left the 5th level, he met a few other blood god guards. They were all curious as to why Baki was so happy. Hence they came to ask. Luo Feng naturally explained to them. Immediately the group of guards were all filled with envy, congratulating Luo Feng. After which, Luo Feng left the palace and rushed straight into the sky, towards where the aura was thick and red. The first time I met blood god Baki, he was brutal, cold and without remorse. He would have killed me in a heartbeat. Luo Feng smiled and shook his head as he flew. Exclaiming within, however, after so many years, now his attitude is obviously much better. He even got closer once he knew I absorbed 3 crystals. This was a form of trust. When they first met back then, even though he had submitted, blood god Baki probably still hadn't fully trusted him. However, after so long of sticking by the rules within his huge pit quarters, obviously Baki was very satisfied and finally began to trust him. Maybe the level of trust wasn't comparable to his captain number 1 or others, but because of Luo Feng's talent, obviously Baki still favored him heavily. Pity. Baki, I cannot stay in this Blood River world. My area is even more vast. Luo Feng muttered within, after I receive the medal, I'll leave. The next time I come will definitely be much later. So. He swiftly tore through the skies and headed towards his huge pit quarters. After Luo Feng left, not long after, Baki personally used his communication device to send a message to the Undying Shrine, requesting more Blood River medals. Undying Shrine, its core region was within the ancient god ruins. The area was vast. There were large amounts of mountain ranges, occasionally swamps, rivers, forests and huge pits etc. In this 10 million km area, the killing aura was all around. Be it high in the mountain peaks or deep in the swamps and rivers, or in the huge pits, or floating in mid-air. In every core of the whirlpool auras was a glaring red sun. In this entire region, however, there were a total of 10,081 aura whirlpools about. Every one of them revolving, most of them however were about 10 times less or more than Luo Feng's pit, the smaller ones had an aura of only 1/10 th. There were all forms of aura whirlpools. All different in strength, size and position. 10,081 whirlpools, separated into skies, rivers, mountain peaks, valleys, naturally formed phenomenons. Rumble. G. Ong. Like an ancient beast howling, passing through trillions of years of time and space, resounding within a region. In the center of these 10,081 whirlpools, there was an ancient shrine 1,000,000 km in area, completely black and red in color. The surface layer had incomparably complex statues, some of them were of beasts roaring, some of undyings battling and so on. The ancient shrine surrounded by the 10,081 whirlpools, emitted the same ancient aura. Just how big was an ancient shrine that had an area of 1,000,000 kilometers? Earth was tiny compared to this shrine. The size of the shrine was comparable to the sun. This was the center of Blood River continent's strongest power. Even the Virtual Universe Company hadn't completely dominated this place. Undying Shrine, majestic and tall, in level 9829 of the palace. Yucca. A black armored silhouette stood before the throne. Gazing downwards, his voice boomed like thunder. Below, a white uniformed man was kneeling, his head on the ground. Go get 20 Blood River medals and with the fastest speed send them to Baki. The armored silhouette said indifferently. Yes, great God. The white-clothed man knelt and said respectfully. Go. The silhouette said. Shwa. The armored silhouette vanished from the palace. The white-clothed man got up and turned to head outside, simultaneously shouting loudly outside, Woola, get the team of special envoys ready, we are leaving immediately from the shrine. Yes, Lord Yucca. A voice resounded from outside. After a while, a dark purple disc-shaped universe ship swiftly tore through the skies flying away from the shrine. Up in the 15th level of clouds, it flew quickly towards the huge pit. The ancient god ruins were simply too vast. The universe ships created by the Undying Shrine paled far in comparison to Luo Feng's automaton ship. Even flying in the cloud levels, the resistance was much higher than flying in space. Hence just the flight alone, Baki said, would require 6 to 10 days. 6 to 10 days here was Blood River Continent's time. In truth, compared to Earth time, it was about 1 to 2 months. In that ship, after flying about 20 days of Earth time, within a wide river in the ancient god ruins was an island. On that island, a warrior was in training. At the depths of the river was a huge aura whirlpool, endless aura emitted from within, making this island, as the best place to train. Lord! Lord! Two silhouettes fiercely emerged from the surface of the water, landing on the island. These two shouted hurriedly, their voices rumbling, resounding throughout the island. With a domain lord strength, the power of those roars, one could only imagine. Lord! Lord! The two of them rushed until they were before a beautiful silver-white palace. There stood a beautiful receptionist. Rumble! A silhouette rushed out from within the palace, immediately appearing at the entrance. With a wave of his hand, a wave of world energy formed a huge palm and slapped the two underlings, shouting. It knocked them so far back that they flew into the distant vegetation. I've already said it before. Before the palace, dressed in a white robe, a bewitchingly handsome youth, with fox-like eyes was staring at the two who were spitting out blood. When I am training, if you are looking for me, first let the AI know and let it inform me. You actually shouted and made a ruckus. I am teaching you a lesson this time. Next time, don't blame me for being merciless. The two guards immediately were shocked to their senses. We know our mistake. We know our mistake. The two quickly flew over and bowed respectfully. The fox-like youth cleared his throat and said indifferently, Speak, just what has gotten you both so crazy? There's some historical remnants at the bottom of the river. One of the guards shouted. There's some historical remnants at the bottom of the river, very likely from that battle countless years ago. The other guard spoke. The fox-like youth stared wide-eyed. Historical remnants? From that legendary battle? Bring me there quickly. The youth ordered in a shrill voice, his face flushed red from excitement. Yes. The two guards didn't dare delay, quickly leading the way into the distant river. How did you two discover it? The fox-like youth communicated while following them. Historical remnant. The ancient god ruins was the place where Blood River Continent's strongest undyings joined hands against the outsiders' invasion. That battle was a bloodbath, trillions of km of area was completely wasted, even causing the area to be filled with killing aura up till now. One could only imagine how intense the battle was. Every undying was able to build his own god country, the amount of treasures they had was plenty. After that battle back then, the Undying Shrine, there was a period of time where everybody madly searched for treasures. They swept the entire ancient god ruins, collecting large amounts of the treasures. However, even though the Undying Shrine had sent undyings to search for the treasures, the area was after all still too large. Also, the ground went too deep. The surface diameter of Blood River Continent was 9 trillion kilometers, and the depth alone was close to 100 billion kilometers. With such depths, to actually search the entire area properly, even a group of undyings would definitely leave something out. However, over 1 trillion years, it was rare that one ever heard of a new discovery. After all, over countless years, 99% of the historical remnants were already found, leaving behind the extremely hard-to-find ones. The three of them dived straight into the river, diving deeper and deeper. This vast river's depth was at least 10,000 kilometers, very deep indeed. Lord, discovering the remnant was also our luck. Right, it's luck. The fox-like youth dived downwards, communicating, explain. The two of us were at the bottom of the river hunting some water beasts to barbecue and eat. Who would have thought that at the bottom, we ended up feeling the ground below tremor violently, causing a canyon to split apart, with some ancient decayed weapons floating out. We didn't dare delay, hence we came to inform you. The moment we discovered it, we immediately came to inform you, Lord. The two of them said. The fox-like youth smiled as he heard this. He was a sector lord nurtured by the undying shrine, his sights were indeed plenty. Hence from the explanation alone he understood. It should be some undying or world leader's world storage which was destroyed. Hence, when it was destroyed the ground tremored, it caused his world to reveal itself. The fox-like youth thought. As long as one reached the sector lord level, he could use his world energy to build his own world and even a world within a world. And one world could be shrunk down within a villa. Even until it reached the size of a specially constructed sand grain. How much it could shrink depended on the materials. Some materials were just a little bigger than a sesame seed, that alone could house an entire world. And even though creating space rings materials were cheap, however, to actually slice a piece of space was very hard and troublesome. Hence, many wealthy sector lords and even undyings would rather use money to acquire valuable materials and store their worlds and use as their storage. After all, a world the size of a sand grain was easy to bring about. However, the god countries were different, they were even more vast and more troublesome. Should be an undying. World leaders all have their internal worlds. They can place items within their internal worlds. Only undyings. They already don't have their internal worlds, only god countries. And placing items within and retrieving it later, storing is very troublesome. Hence bringing along a world, where the space is huge, storage etc., was very convenient. The fox-like youth thought. However, the materials used to store a world are still very valuable, and they cannot last forever. After over 1 trillion years, finally they decayed. Once that happened, then the world would reveal itself. Hence, the ground split open, allowing these two punks to discover it. Huh, my luck sure is good. The fox-like youth reached the bottom excited, at the dark bottom, he used his world energy. Indeed. It's indeed a world. The youth scanned the bottom with his world energy, reaching deep into the ground, immediately he was very excited. So, he immediately dug deep into the ground and began to search for the treasures. Half a day later, Xin Island, within the palace. The fox-like youth stood before the fence. Gazing into the distance, he felt extremely satisfied. I didn't expect that, Qian, could acquire such historical remnant treasures. From the looks of it, it should be some items stored in some undying's world. Even though there aren't as many treasures as I expected, however it's still hundreds to thousands of times more than my wealth. Windfall. The legendary historical remnant, it was that thrilling. He was a world leader, even though he had plenty of treasures, in this one instant his wealth had leapt 1,000 times. However, the other weapons and materials etc., I can handle. This jade gold statue however, is really useless to me. The youth flipped his hand and a 30 centimeters tall statue appeared in his palm. It was completely half-transparent, gold in color. Looking at this statue, it gave off a heart-trembling energy. The statue was of a wild beast. A lizard-like creature, with a long tail, thick legs and a single horn on its head. Its intrepid energy emitted from the mysterious ancient statue. This jade gold statue is one of the legendary beast god statues I think. I've heard there's a total of 18 of them. The fox-like youth shook his head, however, it only has sentimental value, no other uses. Beast god statue. An item the undying shrine worshipped. There were a total of 18 of them. However, Back then during the terrifying battle, more than half of them were lost. Till today, 3 of them still hadn't been found. Even though it's useless to me, however giving it to the Undying Shrine would mean great benefit to me, I'll get quite a reward. The youth smiled. Using his communication device, he sent a message to the Undying Shrine. The message was very simple. It was that he, Qian, had acquired a beast god statue by chance and was giving it to the shrine. The message quickly reached light speed. Within 1.5 days, it reached the shrine. Within the shrine, even though the beast god statues were but items of worship and had no other use or importance, its status was still highly regarded. Hence the shrine immediately gave the order for the envoy team closest to bring the statue back, and even give a reward to the sector lord Qian. Yuka led his team of envoys and sat in a dark purple universe ship, arriving in the air above Hu Xin Island. Qian. The white-robed Yuka descended from above, behind him followed 2 envoys. Ha, Yuka. The fox-like youth smiled and flew from the island, welcoming them. What a coincidence. I am here under the god's orders to deliver the Blood River medals to Lord Baki. The white-robed Yuka said. Right now there are currently 2 teams of envoys in the ancient god ruins, and I just happen to be close to you. Hence, I was ordered to route over and receive the beast god statue. Lord Baki. The fox-like youth was surprised. You are heading to Lord Baki. I heard he has been in the aura training for quite long, and has already absorbed 8 crystals. Yes. The white-robed Yuka nodded. Go, it's a good surprise that I met you here. I'll follow you to meet Lord Baki. I've long heard of his reputation, but haven't met him yet. The youth said. Compared to Baki, whether it was age or position, he paled in comparison. Firstly, this fox-like youth was only Sector Lord level 3. And Baki had long ago reached the pinnacle of Sector Lords. And he was a trillion-year genius. As long as he wanted, he could break through to Undying very quickly. In terms of position, Baki was comparable even to the Undyings. Otherwise, why would his guard team alone have 2 Sector Lords, and even a powerful wild beast Qin as his brother? Let's go. White-robed Yuka nodded. Immediately the group flew into the purple ship in the sky. It sped off with shocking speed headed towards the huge pit. Time passed. Luo Feng waited patiently within the huge pit quarters. Blood god Baki told me that day it'll take 6 to 10 days. According to Earth time, that's at most 2 months, however now, 2 months have passed. Dressed in the blood god guard uniform of bronze armor, he sat crossed-legged on his stone bed, worrying within. Him staying there didn't have many benefits anymore. And returning would mean more opportunities. Compared to the vast universe, Blood River continent was simply too small. Rumble. The air shook, and a powerful energy reached Luo Feng. 97. A thick voice resounded within the huge pit quarters, causing Luo Feng to jump down and reply respectfully, Lord. The huge pit quarters was tens of thousands of km away from the palace in the depths of the pit, and a sector lord's unleashed world energy was unable to travel that far. Hence he had to control and focus his world energy in a specific direction. With blood god Baki's control, it caused the air to shake. Come here to me. The voice resounded. Yes. Luo Feng replied, happy within, looks like it was time to receive the Blood River medal. So. Luo Feng became a green light and followed the cave out, diving deep into the depths of the huge pit and reaching the bottom in an instant. 5th level of the palace. Luo Feng had arrived at the 5th level, spotting the blood-color-robed Baki in the throne above, along with the wild beast Qin beside. Greetings Lord Qin. Luo Feng knelt on one knee. Get up. Baki was smiling. In a while, the Blood God Palace envoys will arrive and deliver the medals. Also, your luck this time is good. My luck is good. Luo Feng's face was filled with curiosity. Blood God Baki smiled. The special envoys that have come have brought along another world leader Qian. He was extremely lucky, acquiring an ancient treasure from the Undying Shrine, the Beast God statue. It is a statue of a beast god, a legendary being. When they arrive, I'll let you see the statue. Ah! Beast god statue. Luo Feng was curious. On the surface however he shouted, "Thank you Lord." When Luo Feng went to visit the blood god Baki, a dark purple disc-shaped universe ship had stopped above the huge pit in midair. Hua! The cabin door opened. The leader of the envoys, the white-robed Yuka and the fox-like youth Qian flew out of the cabin door, followed by 8 others. This is Baki's training spot. The fox-like youth's eyes gleamed. Gazing below at the huge pit, the aura here is so thick, looks like there's a whirlpool down there too. Yuka nodded indifferently, simultaneously keeping the universe ship. Follow me down. Yuka ordered. Yes, the group complied. We'll meet the legendary Lord Baki in a moment. The fox-like youth was very excited. So. The silhouettes rushed downward swiftly into the depths of the blood-red aura. Within the depths, a palace was erected there. 10 silhouettes swiftly descended and landed at the entrance of the palace, led by the white-robed Yuka and the fox-like youth Qian. Lord Baki. On orders from my god, we've delivered the Blood River medal. The white-robed Yuka bowed and shouted. Enter. A thick booming voice immediately reached the 10 people's ears. Simultaneously, a blood god guard appeared at the entrance and personally led them in. Envoys, this way. With the guard leading them, the 10 of them quickly reached the 5th level of the palace. Palace 5th level. A blood-red robed Baki sat high in his throne, gazing below. Below, on the left was the fierce-looking wild beast Qinyo, and beside him were 3 blood god guards. Captain number 1, Vice Captain number 2 and the blood god guard awaiting his medal 97. Yuka and Qian along with the others had arrived. Greetings Lord Baki. The white-robed Yuka bowed, beside him the fox-like youth bowed too. Greetings Lord Baki. The 8 of them behind them too knelt down on one knee. Yuka, it's been rough on you. Baki nodded from above in the throne. His gaze then landed on the youth beside him. You are Qian. Yes Lord Baki. The youth smiled and spoke excitedly. I was a few generations after Lord Baki. However, I am also one of the geniuses from the Undying Shrine. I've long heard of your name and always wanted to meet you. But today, it's finally come true. Baki nodded, remaining calm. The Undying Shrine had many geniuses in one batch, the strength of the world leaders was large also. Baki was a genius of 1 trillion years and his position was comparable to an Undying. As for the other normal geniuses, naturally he didn't bother. What's more, even though Yuka and Qian below were of Sector Lord strength. One was Sector Lord level 3 while the other was 5. Even in terms of quantity they hadn't reached the pinnacle. Naturally Baki couldn't bother too much with them. Blood River medal. Baki looked below at Yuka. These are the 20 medals that my god had ordered me to deliver. Yuka flipped his hand and 20 palm-sized medals floated in his hand. They were all completely dark red, and on them were engraving and words. So. The 20 medals floated directly to the throne above before Blood God Baki. Blood God Baki snorted coldly. With a wave of his hand, he kept those 20 medals. 97. Blood God Baki ordered. Present. Luo Feng walked out and knelt on one knee, replying loudly. In the throne above, Baki smiled, "You've successfully absorbed 3 crystals, becoming a blood warrior. Today, before the envoys of the Undying Shrine, I personally present you this Blood River medal. Train well, don't waste your talents. Your underling will not disappoint you, Lord." Luo Feng knelt on one knee, his voice strong and forceful. Blood God Baki waved his hand and immediately one medal appeared and floated before Luo Feng. Luo Feng stared at the medal. It was palm-sized, and dark red in color. Its surface was covered in engravings that formed together an ancient palace. As he raised his hand to receive it, he said respectfully, "Thanks, Lord." Simultaneously, he let out a sigh of relief within. He had finally acquired the medal. Once one became a blood warrior and acquired the Blood River medal, the reward would be 100k points. Everything is finished. I have no need to stay anymore. Once I return to the huge pit quarters, I'll find a chance to leave. Luo Feng thought. Cloud-level pinnacle and he's absorbed 3 crystals. That fox-like youth Qian let out a shrill voice, resounding throughout the palace. Congratulations, Lord Baki. Congratulations, to acquiring such a genius. I believe that in hundreds of thousands of years, he will definitely be a powerful warrior. Baki only replied indifferently, changing the subject, "I heard you acquired a beast god statue." "By mere luck." Qian immediately replied. "Your luck is not bad." In the throne, Baki nodded coldly. And Luo Feng, who was standing beside the 2 other guards, was curious within. Just what was this beast god statue thing? "Lord Baki, please take a look." Qian confidently extended one hand and suddenly, a statue appeared out of nowhere in his palm. It was about 30 centimeters tall, half crystal-like and transparent. It also had complex gold within, and it looked like a lizard-like beast. However, its head seemed to be struggling with its 4 legs, which were thick and powerful, and one horn that piercing towards the sky. The entire statue emitted a heart-trembling, terrifying energy. Brutal. Almost like a crazed shout, the voice resounded through everybody's ears, making everyone who was staring at the statue change their expressions. "Good statue." Blood God Baki complimented and nodded. "Beast God." The wild beast Chi Nyo stared wide-eyed, and a complex look could be seen within his gaze as he looked on. The 2 captains of the Blood God guards too looked in shock. They had heard of the legendary beast god statue before, but have never seen it. Of all present, the only one who had probably seen a beast god statue before was probably Blood God Baki. This is, Luo Feng remained calm on the outside, inside however were filled with torrents of thoughts and emotions that took over. Right. Without a doubt, this beast god statue was the terrifying ancient beast he had seen in the 3 pictures in the whirlpool. Just the statue alone, that weak but terrifying energy it emitted, it was definitely stronger than Baki, Chi Nyo, or any others. Even more powerful than some of the powerful warriors Luo Feng had seen in the primal chaos city. Naturally, the energy from the statue was weak. This beast god statue. Luo Feng carefully examined it, staring at every scale, and at its incredibly defined claws and tail. Howl. Brutal. Luo Feng could almost see countless years ago, where this lizard-like beast dominated the universe space. Howling and slaughtering tens of millions, its intrepid energy, completely triggered Luo Feng's golden horned beast. What his earth body saw, the other bodies naturally saw too. Howl, the golden horned beast within the internal world couldn't help but howl out, and its dark pupils were filled with excitement and anticipation. This is the true aim of the golden horned beast. This is the direction in which the beast needs to head in. Luo Feng was extremely excited. Having long studied the three ancient pictures, along with the golden horned beast's reaction, it made Luo Feng burn with excitement within. The shape of the statue was important, but the importance was given to God itself. Luo Feng had long studied the blurry ancient pictures formed by the aura, using tearing sky and land technique to comprehend and learn. After rushing into the whirlpool, he was even able to more clearly study the three pictures. Those three within were 10 times clearer than those formed by the aura outside. Hence that image of the god was also 10 times clearer. And at this time, this beast statue before him, it made Luo Feng feel as though there was a living ancient beast right before him. Even though it was a simple statue, however, the god that statue portrayed, that energy, was countless times higher than the three ancient pictures. Howl, the golden horned beast howled within the internal world. It was howling. Almost like a cat howling, trying to imitate a tiger. That ancient beast was a tiger and the golden horned beast was but a weak cat. That was not the correct way. Wrong, what I studied before was wrong. Tearing sky and land, compared to this ancient beast's first claw pales in comparison. Looking at the statue itself, I know the right path. Almost like a living ancient beast here, the energy emitted from the statue revealed many secrets that indeed benefited the golden horned beast. I have to acquire it. This ancient beast statue, I have to get it. This statue, to the golden horned beast is like the 9 universe tablet to the human body. I don't know who carved this statue, but they were actually able to capture its essence. The golden horned beast studied it a while and immediately realized that this was far from an ordinary statue. Luo Feng's gaze fell on the white-robed Yuka and Qian's bodies. Those two were sector lords. What do I do? These two are both sector lords. I have no way to snatch. Luo Feng panicked within. And there's even Baqi and Qi Niu here, who were both sector lord pinnacle. And once they leave, they will swiftly take their universe ship and go. As Luo Feng was panicking. The beast god statue, is completely jade gold, and every inch of jade gold is incomparably valuable. It's a material used by undyings to create weapons. Baqi looked at the statue and exclaimed a couple of times. However, he seemed more enticed by the material and the worth of the jade gold that was used to make the statue. However, 18 statues, in terms of craftsmanship, all are at their peaks. Baqi's felt his problem and quickly complimented the work. Lord Baqi, as the medals have been delivered, will return back to the shrine. White Robe Yuka bowed. Qian too kept the medals and bowed. Baqi nodded. Yuka, Qian and the other 8 envoys thus left. Luo Feng stood there, frowning.